Hey investors, so Alibaba just reported its Q2 revenue and earnings recently, and the stock tanked. But let's take a look at how Alibaba itself is portraying its results. So this is an article from AliZilla, which is obviously owned by Alibaba, and they are putting a positive spin on these results. So I think we have to balance this with the negative spin that we see from the Western media. In the Western media, the narrative is the China regulatory crackdown will eventually kill Alibaba. But I don't think we are seeing that in the numbers. So let's take a look at this article. So first up, we can see that revenue is up 29% year over year and is investing in future growth. That's how they title their article. And they go on to say that the international commerce and cloud computing see surge in revenue. And that's true, the international business was doing quite well, and cloud computing saw an acceleration from the previous quarter in terms of its revenue growth. And this is how it actually talks about the earnings miss. So the group invests in Taobao deals, local consumer services, community marketplaces, and Lazada as it builds future winners. And I think this is the key point they're trying to emphasize. They are investing now so that they can build these future winners. And if you're investing in a company, wouldn't you want that? You want your company to invest so that they continue to maintain their competitive advantage into the future. So looking further down in the article, they say that their annual active consumers expanded to 1.24 billion. So they're definitely not losing consumers. They added roughly 62 million from the 12 months ended June 30th. So in terms of consumers, the business is growing. And I think this is a good paragraph as well. We are on track to achieve a longer term target of serving 2 billion consumers globally. So I'm pretty confident that Alibaba will eventually reach 2 billion, and they're about 1.24 billion right now. So when they do reach 2 billion, what do you think the valuation of Alibaba is going to be? I think it's going to be higher from where it is right now. I thought this paragraph was also quite useful. Seed investments in businesses such as the bargain app, Taobao deals, local consumer services, community marketplace, and Singapore headquartered Lazada rose by 12.6 billion RMB. So excluding these investments, profit from commerce would have been stable year over year. So basically they're saying that the earnings miss is not really an earnings miss. It's a deliberate attempt to reinvest for future growth. And so they go on to say our continued investments in key strategic areas have resulted in robust growth for these young businesses. So these are young businesses which will require investment, but they can grow into some of those very big assets that Alibaba has, like Tmall and Taobao. I think the one thing you can complain about in this earnings report was that they revised their fiscal 22 forecast to grow 20 to 23% year over year. So initially at the end of March, in April, I think they estimated that their revenue would grow about 29%. So it's come down quite a bit. But I would say that there are a lot of other factors that at play. One, it has been the Evergrande and the property crisis in China generally. So that will dampen consumer sentiment. And then we also seen inflation worries. So that might dampen some consumer sentiment. And then we also seen the supply chain shortages. So that might also affect revenue growth prospects. And we've seen this with some other companies like Amazon also. According to the analysts, they had a soft outlook for Q4, but Amazon has come back since. So I don't think this revenue forecast is too worrying. And on top of that, they're continuing to buy back shares. So they returned about 5 billion to shareholders in this last quarter alone. And that was apparently at higher prices of about 191, and now they're about 143. So you can probably rest assured that they are continuing to buy back shares at even better prices now. This graph looks nice, doesn't it? Every September quarter from 2017, the revenue just keeps going up. If you're an Alibaba shareholder, won't you be happy about that? So I think we got to focus on the long-term story here. They are nurturing winners. They continue to invest in markets outside China. Lazada is doing well, and even Trendyol in Turkey is doing well. So they served about 285 million consumers outside China after attracting 20 more consumers to its platform in the 12 months ended September 30th. So their international business is growing. Take a look at this as well. Both retail and wholesale international commerce gathered momentum with year-over-year increases in revenue of 34%. That's pretty good. And look at Lazada. Lazada has grown 82% year-over-year. And Trendyol, well, the GMV growth in the quarter was over 80% year-over-year on a constant currency basis. And don't forget, Alibaba also has other businesses. One of them is the logistics network that they have, Canio, right? And that's something that's been growing as well. It operates over 3 million square meters of warehouses now. So their logistics services revenue hit 9.9 billion RMB, a 20% jump from the last year quarter. So Alibaba has multiple engines of growth. International commerce is doing well. Cloud computing seems to be back on track. China commerce a bit slow but still doing pretty okay. And then they have the logistics network as well that's doing pretty good. They seem quite confident about their cloud business. Revenue grew 33% year over year. And they pointed out that Gartner ranked Alibaba third in the worldwide infrastructure as a service cloud market. And that market has a TAM of about 408 billion. So pretty good. So I won't go through the rest of the article, but I think this is the important thing we want to focus. They are on track to achieve our longer term target of serving 2 billion customers globally. Eventually, I'm pretty confident Alibaba will achieve that. They're continuing to support the R&D and maintain a cutting edge in technology. I think they will continue to invest, and I think that's the right thing for them to do. What do you think about Alibaba? Let me know in the comments.